Hi, I'm Mickey Roach. I'm a cybersecurity partner with PwC. I've been working in the security controls and identity space for over 26 years now. In addition to having the honor of serving some great clients, I also lead our Cyber Alliance program, and I'm lucky enough to be the Okta Alliance Partner Champion for PwC. Thank you for being with us on this panel session. Joining us are Raj Bhatia, he's the Executive Director of Identity Management at Comcast, and Angela Grisafi, Senior Director of Identity Management at Baker Hughes. We've asked them to join us today so that they can share some of their identity management transformation journey experiences. They can talk about how they've relied on Okta's platform to enable their respective businesses. And what makes it interesting is I think both are on this journey in the middle of some changing business environments for their respective businesses. Well, first, I'll have them introduce themselves. Raj, if you want to give a quick introduction on yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Vicky. Hi, everyone. My name is Raj Bhatia. I'm the Executive Director of Identity and Access Management for Enterprise, as well as B2B here at Comcast. Been with the firm for about 2.5 years, been in the industry for about 2.5 decades, and been in the space for about 2 decades, specializing in cybersecurity controls and identity framework implementations.
And this is Angela Grisafi, Senior Director Cybersecurity in Baker Hughes. And I've been in this role since many years. Right now, I would say roughly 10 years in identity and access management space.
Thanks, Angela and Raj. Again, thank you for that, and thanks for being with us today. First question for you, Raj. You've been in the identity industry for a while and have had various leadership roles. Can you talk a little bit more about your role and kind of dive into how you're going about your IAM program?
Sure. So, as mentioned, I've been with the firm for about 2.5 years. I lead the identity and access management transformation for Comcast. I've been on the enterprise side. We had a decent plan for how to uplift our identity and access management space, and we observed gaps that we could fulfill with our focused transformation on the B2B side. And we did a lot of discovery on platforms that are out available and leveraged eventually Okta to help make those transformations in the ecosystem. So for about 2.5 years, we have been focused on building this infrastructure that we call as identity broker, which is based on Okta platform. And the sole purpose of that platform is to provide identity and access management capabilities for Comcast business customers, like syndicated and wholesale partners and Comcast businesses, to leverage a unified platform to make these identity and access management challenges go away, which in silos have been able to solve a lot of business problems. But when we talk about a holistic platform, we found a lot of opportunities that would allow us to remove some of those redundant processes that were out in our ecosystem.
Thanks, Raj. Angela, you have extensive experience in the IT industry, specifically within IAM at GE and Baker Hughes. Can you share with us your career journey as well as tell us about your current role as Senior Director of Cybersecurity at Baker Hughes?
Sure. So I started my career with GE in 2003, where I covered several roles, mostly in IT risk and cybersecurity. And in 2017, I joined Baker Hughes from GE. At that time, Baker Hughes was originally known as Baker Hughes Incorporated. And in 2017, then Baker Hughes was merged with GE Oil and Gas to become a Baker Hughes GE company. But few months after, GE decided to divest this company. And so in 2019, Baker Hughes became Baker Hughes company. Divested from General Electric. And this is exactly when Okta came into the big picture of the conversation we're having this morning. In 2018, I accepted the role of Identity and Access Management Transformation Program Leader for Baker Hughes. And since then, my goal has been to build and lead our company's journey to a modern identity and access management environment. We had the unique opportunity to relook completely at our identity and access management portfolio of systems, processes, solutions, and skills needed to transform this organization to what the new Baker Hughes needed, not just for present, but also for future demand.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that, Angela. Raj, back to you. Um, as part of your transformation, you have chosen Okta to be the solution for your ID broker platform that you talked about in your earlier comments. Can you shed some light on into your ID broker platform as well as how Comcast is trying to accomplish this transformation?
Absolutely. As mentioned, Comcast did not have the business customer lifecycle control at that time when I had joined about 2 years ago. So we had fragmented solutions, fragmented identities that we were having in different parts of the businesses. And what we wanted to do was to consolidate all of it into one unified national platform that we could offer up to all our business units itself. Um, so one of the key challenge in not having the customer lifecycle control is we wanted to at least have termination controls be very effective for external accounts to not have any access to our resources, and our processes were sort of reactive for deprovisioning. So we wanted to elevate that challenge and bring it into this platform and address it holistically with this ID broker platform. Um, it is the ID broker platform acts as an intermediary service that allows us to connect all the different identity providers and applications and customers into one unified platform. So this makes it a lot more robust and allows us to have a lot of flexibility and control enforcement in real time. The other challenge that we were facing in Comcast was around the onboarding of business customers was time consuming and intensive manual process at the time. So we wanted to make sure we can onboard the applications our business needs much faster. And this platform allowed us to do that capability build out. The other challenge that we wanted to help our businesses was to be able to cross-reference our customers from one environment into another so that we can cross-sell some solutions to other customers of our business customers of ours. And this platform, once again, because of its unification of the user base, we were able to manage multiple identities and multiple services, and we can now offer up much more intelligent services back to our customers. Another use case that we wanted to provide our end users or business customer was our single sign-on seamless experience, which was based on zero trust, and the contextual awareness and all of the end user experience and security parameters were totally addressed in this platform. And it allowed us to have that richer context per user so that we could address our zero trust security principles that we want to address in our strategic future for Comcast. So with this implementation of ID Broker, what we did was to focus on risk reduction because we are now having a lot more context about the users that we are enabling in our ecosystem. We have reliability and scalability with our B2B portfolio. We have our seamless end user experience, which allows us to elevate the end user experience itself, enhance end user experience, and more importantly, allows us to also focus on our enhanced security posture. And this makes us to have a platform where we can just turn off the end user access, or maybe even the end user access itself gets disabled because we have IDP integrated from all other different business partners and business customers. And when they terminate their users, nobody is able to access any Comcast app because they no longer have access on their main organization. So those were some of the use cases of why ID Broker was conceptualized and delivered in partnership with Okta and PwC.
Yeah, so in addition to being a more secure environment, it's clearly you found a way to be a true business differentiator than with this ID broker concept. That's great. Okay, Angela, this next question is for you. Baker Hughes is also in the process of an IAM program transformation with Okta as its cloud management solution. Could you tell us about the current platform and its progression with Okta, touching on the various work streams such as MyID, customer identity transformations, and directory consolidations?
Sure, Miki. Baker Hughes has adopted Okta to fill gaps not just in our identity and access management technology portfolios around authentication, federation, one-time password, or multi-factor authentication, but also to achieve a faster time to value and reduce the knowledge gap while we were staffing additional resources within our IAM organization. So, to Baker Hughes, Okta is already providing a standard, consistent processes and technologies to support applications that are sitting on-prem, applications that are software as a service, or um, migrating to the cloud as we speak. And also, Okta is supporting users which are internal workforce, customers, and suppliers. All of that is already happening, and it's happening through Okta professional services, Okta product, as well as this great partnership with the PwC. So, Miki, there are three major scenarios where Okta is playing a critical role that I can think of sharing with you and the rest of this audience. The first scenario is truly within our existing application portfolio, where we are challenged with applications that use Microsoft ADFS. These applications and these systems are already in the process of migrating over to Okta Enterprise tenant. But also we have a large portfolio of existing applications that use Ping Identity and SiteMinder. So now you see these complex and heterogeneous landscape of IAM solutions that we already own, where we are trying to consolidate everyone over to Okta Enterprise or Okta Customer Identity Management. The second scenario is really with those legacy web-based applications that do not support SAML or OIDC protocols. For us, this is probably the most challenging scenario that we had to overcome. And thanks to Okta Access Gateway, we are currently accommodating any header-based patterns for these systems. We have already deployed OAG in our environment, and throughout 2021 and 2022, we will slightly move more and more applications over to Okta OAG, just to support that second scenario. The third scenario I really would like to share with you is with our new enterprise platforms, as well as any new business to business solutions that we are deploying to our customers. Because while we are in the middle of this separation from GE and renewal of our identity and access management technology stack, our businesses are not stopping. And so the digital transformation is already being executed and continues to be executed in our environment. So in that perspective, Okta CIM is really playing as a game changer for this company, because we are now able to provide a unified user experience to our customers. This will happen over time, but our ultimate goal is to get all our customers through a simplified, unified, and more contemporary user experience through Okta CIM. And this comes with some enhanced security requirements that we wanted to deploy also to our enterprise applications around risk-based multi-factor authentication to support access from any devices anywhere. That was one of the key enterprise requirements we could get achieved through Okta through its standalone capabilities. All of these and even much more, Miki, for us, Okta is these days delivering to this company. And we are very grateful of having introduced Okta solutions in Baker Hughes.
Yeah, and I know you've got some pretty important deadlines with the separation. So I know that Okta's played an important role in it. Sounds like from your
Yes.
description with standardizing those processes and giving you that standard platform. That's great. Back to you, Raj. So I know over the last year you accomplished quite a bit in your B2B journey. Talk to us about some of the unique use cases or solutions you built on top of Okta to support your complex business needs.
Thanks, Mickey. So the use cases that we have addressed with our IDB platform, leveraging Okta underneath, is around having our business customers to be able to log into Comcast applications using their own enterprise credentials and identities rather than having localized identities in the Comcast environment. That is one of our key use cases that we solved with this platform. The next key use case that we solved with this platform was around building something which is a little bit more future proof in case we develop products that we want to do a spin off of in the future. So we are able to leverage multiple tenants, and we were able to build an org to org trust between these tenants and yet be able to give the same level of security, scalability, and experience to the end users, which was totally transparent to them. The third use case that we have solved for Comcast was around the business needs in Europe. Just to stay GDPR compliant and have those applications be in Europe and have their customer bases in Europe, we were able to stand up a tenant in EU region, and we collect their logs locally. We have all of the discovery processes for those applications locally in Europe, and this allowed us to enable the GDPR compliance while still be connected into one unified platform with look and feel and same strong authentication. Sorry, same strong authentication capabilities. The other use case that we've solved with our Okta platform was around SMB enablement, which is small, medium businesses, to be able to leverage the same platform. Typically, SMB businesses do not have their own dedicated IDPs, so they wanted to have a home for all these user bases. And what we have done is to bring those small, medium businesses to come into our Okta platform and leverage the Okta Universal Directory underneath and still be able to manage their own set of users, allow them to give the right users with the right roles within each of their authorized applications through this Okta capability. And this has been one of the key benefit of our platform, that even for businesses who do not have anything, we are now able to have a proper life cycle being managed by the business in the same unified directory. However, it only gives them the access to what they are authorized to from an application standpoint, or the users that they create locally for themselves. Last but not the least, we have addressed the business units' need to be able to not have local accounts and be able to bring these business partner accounts and identities into this centralized platform and be able to give the flexibility to remove any localized processes that may be out there for their day-to-day management. The delegated admin portal capabilities that I talked about has a lot of features that I would like to highlight. We were able to give, create user, modify user, suspend user, delete a user, search a user, change their password locally, or authorize or grant the right roles to the end users, and be able to assign the right applications to the right users with the right roles just on the Okta platform. And it works out seamlessly, which is a great outcome of this delivery that we have done in the IDB platform.
That's great, Raj. I appreciate you sharing that. Those are some interesting use cases. Angela, could you also speak to some of the unique use cases and solutions that you've accomplished with Okta to support Baker's business needs, expanding on the change that Baker has experienced in the identity space with this separation process?
Sure, absolutely, Miki. As I shared before, Baker Hughes is indeed in the process of separating from GE. And we use this to support on the GE side Ping and SiteMinder, just to mention two solutions there. And we were challenged with the unique use case of moving hundreds of applications. We are talking here about roughly just on the GE side, something like 500 or 600 business applications towards the new Baker Hughes infrastructure environments, whether again this would have been Baker Hughes public cloud or Baker Hughes on-prem, depending on what the applications could support. So for us, what was extremely important to achieve through the new authentication solutions was the ability to fast deploy authentication on these applications and reduce as much as possible the risk of refactoring applications so that they could speak the language of whatever authentication solution we would come up with. And Okta allowed us that flexibility. In Okta, we found a product that allows us these days to move roughly 60 applications per month in our through our factory model in our Baker Hughes environment with a minimum interaction of application teams with the IAM operation teams. And that's because of the standardization that Okta brings with it and the ability to really plug and play applications that leverage SAML or OIDC protocols. Still, there are solutions that require some specific, let's say, use cases. We talked about Okta Access Gateway. Again, a great product there that is supporting our business in this moment. But I want to mention on one specific use case that we recently came across as we started also the onboarding of systems into Okta identity solution for customers, and that is the org-to-org integration. So think about a case where in the customer tenant you might have also business users, and then at this point you want to have your business users seamlessly getting into the Baker Hughes organization rather than the third party organization tenant. um, we got to do that by integrating the enterprise and customer tenant together in just weeks. And now we are able to authenticate our enterprise users on the customer tenant. So, Miki, these are kind of the use cases I wanted to share with this audience.
Great. Yeah, that's great, Angela, and some great example of some quick time to value on that. Raj, you've shared some great information for the journey you've been on with Okta thus far. Can you talk to us about what's on your roadmap for the next year or so as you mature the platform?
Yeah, so some of the capabilities that we are continuing to evolve on the platform are, first of all, the self-service push that we want to enable on this platform. We have seen great success and great adoption by our Comcast business teams and syndication and wholesale partners already. A lot of different teams are asking to onboard their applications faster on the platform because now they can see the value since they don't have to remember different credentials for different applications and different sites and different user bases. And through this platform, they are seeing the value of having unified user base and standardized enterprise credentials being used with strong auth out of the box. So there is a adoption demand that has increased significantly on our end, and we are trying to build self-service capabilities so that the businesses can scale it at their pace rather than us being the bottleneck for the business. So that's one of the core capability that we are focused on. We are also embarking on the passwordless journey, so to speak, so we can enable, the 502 like capabilities or other strong auth or multi-factor capabilities for the businesses as they deem necessary for a given application, a given a customer or a business. And so we are exploring those capabilities that we are going to enable in our strategic deliverable. We are also building, as I mentioned, the role-based capabilities. We are expanding on it. We are already giving roles at a coarse grain level to the applications when they come in, so the end users can log in to the right application with the right role, and they don't have to request additional access eventually. So we are trying to expand on those role capabilities and perhaps even think about role hierarchy capabilities, which is even more required in the businesses as you get on with the applications that are more complex than traditional applications. Another capability that we are focused or are thinking about is looking at customer identity access management, which is CIAM, or direct to consumer like applications that we are trying to explore in our strategic future as well with this platform. Obviously, I touched on the SMB expansion, which is small, medium businesses who did not have any capability to bring their own IDP to connect into our Comcast enterprise platforms of B2B. We are offering them our Okta Universal Directory and creation of user or lifecycle management through this platform already. So we'll continue to expand on that as well. Those are some of our strategic roadmap items that we want to deliver as we look to expand on this journey as well.
That's great, Raj. Thanks for that. It's a lot of exciting stuff ahead of you. You're coming up.
Yep.
Similar question for you, Angela. What do you see? How do you see your Okta platform evolving at Baker Hughes as you continue to try to improve the security posture there?
Sure. So definitely we will continue onboarding applications on the enterprise Okta tenant. There we have already achieved, I would say, satisfactory level of self-service automation for our application teams. But there is still work to do on the Okta CIM. So we will continue to look into automation opportunities as the business opportunities increase as well for onboarding more systems into Okta CIM. And still on Okta CIM, we are seeing within our organization an increasing demand of federation of identities, as well as identity lifecycle management for customers. These are for Baker Hughes kind of brand new use cases on which we are actively collaborating with our DT business partners that are in constant touch with customers and our channel partners to see exactly what's the appetite also on the third party side to kind of embrace this journey because there is much more value that Okta CIM provides than what we are currently able to predict these days. So strategically, that's a direction that we will continue to explore with our customers and partners for sure. And by the way, we have that capability already available in Baker Hughes. It's just a matter of um, kind of building on the business need and building on the customer experience so that we get to a point where we really achieve the best customer and user experience while we continue to protect our data and our customers' data. Another use case that will become more and more relevant in our journey, similarly to what Raj just shared, is again around risk-based MFA. So we do have a risk-based MFA at identity level. We are able to kind of implement a selective MFA depending on from where the user is connecting, which region, which network. We can already achieve that through the current implementation of Okta. But we want to take it to the next level. We want to take it to the access level, where we can basically provide a more secure access at the transaction level, whether it is within a SOX system for financial transactions or to meet the GDPR requirements, because there might be a need to better protect our sensitive data, or even to protect our intellectual property. At the end of the day, Baker Hughes is an industrial business, and we have to protect our intellectual property by constantly looking at ways of securing our data and how we let users access our critical IP, our critical intellectual property is on top of our mind for our cybersecurity programs across the entire organization.
Great. I appreciate you sharing, Angela. Well, that is the end of the question. So I want to just thank Raj and Angela for joining us today and providing your experiences and insights. And Raj, it was great to hear about how Okta's helping you enable your B2B business model. That was very interesting, and just your overall user experience and improving your security. And Angela's great. I know firsthand how the challenges you have with the separation, and appreciate you sharing how you've used Okta to try to expedite that and meet some of those challenging timelines, as well as some of the very unique business cases that y'all are facing. So thank you for joining us.